All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video for today, leading up to the 14th episode for the Walking Dead Season 9. In this one, we're going to give our thoughts first on whether or not we think Rick could have beaten Beta, and then we'll do a Dead update. Simple answer, no. Video's over. That's it. Okay, guys, we'll see you next. No. But, yeah, so I thought this one would be a good one to start things off with. We do have some new info for Walking Dead, kind of a Dead update for the new stuff that's been going on the last few days. I didn't post a video yesterday, so I definitely wanted to do one today. And, of course, tomorrow night we have the premiere for episode 14, so that's going to be great. But I don't know if I'll have another Q&A for you guys tomorrow before that, because just not sure. We know it's a flashback episode, so there's only so many things to talk about before seeing a flashback. It'll be cool to see what the scars are all about, but aside from that, it's just I think we all kind of know I'm not going to call it a filler episode. It's delivering something important to us, but it's just it's one in place there. It's not the big finale, which we're all really excited for. So, could Rick have beaten Beta? I mean, I don't think so. It depends on how the fight goes down. Rick was able to... Did he beat Negan? He sort of beat Negan. Of course, Jadis kind of came in there at the end and captured Negan as things were going down. If Rick had the Colt, like if Rick had a gun and Beta didn't, well, sure, yeah, then Rick would beat him. But if Rick just had his hatchet, his axe, right? As Negan said, an axe, a hatchet, an axe. Then maybe, because he's really good with the hatchet, right? He's really, really good with the hatchet. But otherwise, Daryl's really crafty, right? Daryl pulls out the knives and does things like that the Beta doesn't see. And he's pretty crafty. So, and I tend to think that Daryl's probably a little bit stronger than Rick. No offense to Andrew Lincoln, but I tend to think so. So, I'm going to go ahead and say that I think that unfortunately for Rick, if he would have faced Beta at that moment that Daryl did, no, I don't think so. And I also got the sense too that when Rick and Daryl were kind of scrapping those few times, like during All Out War, during the first episodes of The Walking Dead Season 9 before Rick's whole ordeal and him leaving and everything with the helicopter, I kind of feel like Daryl generally got the best of Rick after these years. At the beginning of the series, it may have been different, but I think recently Daryl's kind of surpassed Rick as far as toughness goes. So I think that... I think Beta probably would beat Rick. But then again, I thought the Beta would beat Daryl too. And he clearly didn't. So you guys can leave your comments about that one below. I know it's blasphemy to compare, but because Rick's, of course, not there to we're not going to see, obviously we're not going to see a Rick versus Beta ever. But could he have done it? No, I don't think he would have been able to beat him, no. So that's the way I'll go with that one. The next one for the Dead update for today is the Fear the Walking Dead lawsuit was settled, apparently. If you guys don't know about this, apparently it's confidential as to what. They probably paid him a few $1,000,000 to go away, and that's probably it, right? Maybe $1 million or $2 million to go away and be quiet, and that's probably how it happened. But yeah, it was settled. So there was a lawsuit for Fear the Walking Dead for Dead Ahead, which was, I guess, a comic that I never even heard of, to be honest with you. And apparently there was some, they thought that the season 2 with the Abigail of Fear the Walking Dead had stolen from Dead Ahead, because, I don't know, it has zombies and they used a boat in it. I don't know. They had the Abigail in Fear the Walking Dead. In the comic Dead Ahead, I don't know what it had. Zombies at sea or something, or zombie monsters at sea. I don't know, something like this. And somehow they were able to say that it infringed on the copyright for Dead Ahead or something. I don't know. I don't know how this happened. But hey, good for them if they got $1 million or $2 million out of it, or even a few $100,000. Then maybe it was worth their while to do, and good for them. But honestly, I still, when I heard about the whole thing, I was like, how is that? I don't know. I haven't read the comic, so I guess you have to read the comic to fully understand how close it was. But I looked at it and I was like, it doesn't seem that close to me. I don't even necessarily know if the things in Dead Ahead really would classify as like your classic, Romero type zombies that The Walking Dead generally has. So I don't know. Leave your comments. Let me know what you guys think about that one. Fear the Walking Dead losing or settling the lawsuit. For whatever, who knows how much, and so I don't know. I have no idea. That's all I really got to say about that one. It's just whatever, legal stuff. I don't know how it works out. So Next one is Tom Payne is going to Iron Fist, which is really cool. So happy to hear that for him. That's going to be great for his career. Of course, he played Jesus in the Walking Dead TV series, and I guess there was a Twitter picture of him posting that he cut his hair. So Jesus's hair is no more. It's been chopped off. And it looks like sites are saying that he will not be returning again to play the role of Jesus. Well, I think we all kind of knew that anyway. Like, he had the flashback, right? We might see him in this flashback actually on Sunday, because maybe he'll be in part of the scenes in that because he was alive at that time. So maybe we'll get one more episode with him or something with a flashback sequence. But then after this season, yeah, he's probably done with The Walking Dead for good. And then if you want to see him, then you could check out Iron Fist probably with their next season. So that'll be cool. So congratulations to him. He'll get to use some of those skills he never really got to use in The Walking Dead. He's done a few interviews where he's talked about how he had to do like all this training year after year after year for The Walking Dead to prepare to play Jesus. And in the TV series, they barely gave him almost anything to do. It's just like, and I don't know necessarily if that was a mistake. They had a lot of characters in the Walking Dead TV series around season 7 and 8-ish. So, especially season 8. Like, I feel like the roster in The Walking Dead season 8 was huge. I mean, you had Rick, you had Morgan still, you had Dwight, you had Daryl. You just had so many characters. And now, finally, things have kind of freed themselves up, and there's more space there. And he, of course, was killed off to introduce the Whispers, so it kind of sucks for him that he never got to use it, but he'll be able to use it later on in his career. So there you go with learning skills, right? When you practice and you hone and you become good with skills, then you can land other jobs in the future or other gigs that allow you to use those skills. So that's going to be really cool for him to be in that. So congratulations to him. I'm happy to hear that for him, and that's good. And so good for him, man. That'll be cool. Maybe I'll check it out. I haven't seen the series so far. Is there a first season released Iron Fist? I think there probably is. I'm not up with the latest on all the Netflix. There's so many series on Netflix. It's crazy. I can't keep up with them all. Yeah, now the one that I'm not going to do an individual video for, but I kind of touched on it just briefly recently. Sarah Wayne Callies is going to be directing an episode of Fear the Walking Dead. So she played Lori in the original Walking Dead series, and I guess they're having her come in for Fear the Walking Dead to direct an episode. So we'll probably see that this year coming up in Fear the Walking Dead. So season 5. I don't know if it's first half or second half, and we'll be looking forward, I guess, to seeing the episode. But the thing is that I've said is that Lori was so hated in The Walking Dead. It's not the same as if you have Michael Cudlitz come in and direct an episode, because with Michael Cudlitz, everybody loved Abraham, especially in the end as he was killed off with telling Negan to suck his nuts and everything. He got to go out like a champ, right? Even Negan said he was taking it like a champ. It was awesome. So Abraham's awesome. Everyone's going to want to watch that. And I actually really liked his episode. Thought it was really great. Or for the Walking Dead, sorry. Not Fear the Walking Dead. But they had Coleman Domingo direct an episode for Fear the Walking Dead. So they've had, some people do this, prior. But it's not the same thing because, Michael Cudlitz, the character was so loved. And for Lori, she wasn't. Lori was like the most hated character like ever, right? So everybody hated Lori because she created a scenario, and maybe not her fault. Some of the women, they want to defend her and say, well, she didn't know that Rick was still alive and everything. Shane lied to her. And yeah, you can get that too. That's a bit tragic that he did. He did tell her that Rick was dead and everything, and so then all of a sudden he just comes back, and she probably was already pregnant at that time. Because I think we're to assume that Judith kind of came from that episode where they got together in the woods. I think that's the assumption. So that's Judith's first appearance is right there, apparently, in an unborn fashion. Part of Shane. I don't know how I feel about this one for her directing an episode for Fear of the Walking Dead. It's kind of like, whatever, man. Okay, if they're going to have her do it, it's whatever. I don't know. I mean, some people say, well, Trev, separate the character from the actress. And it's like, yeah, you're right. But the casual viewer is not going to do that. You know what I mean? The casual viewer is not going to do it. So it's like, it's really tricky, just because of kind of the way but she was in Prison Break and other shows like that and stuff. So I guess we have to appreciate that she wants to do something for Walking Dead at all, even if it's directing an episode of Fear, rather than nothing. So we'll see how she does. I'll let you guys know which episode it is as we get closer to the air date for it. And we'll see. We'll see what it's like for Fear of the Walking Dead. That is if anyone's going to watch Fear of the Walking Dead this year, which we'll see. Once the trailer hits, we'll have a good idea of whether or not people are going to. RSS says, Carol, so we'll get into the questions now, will ask Alpha if she wants to watch a movie, right, for Carol versus Alpha. So, yeah, I don't think Carol asking Alpha if she wants to watch a movie is going to work. I really don't. ArtsyCat says, hey, Trev, where do you think the Oceanside people are? We have not seen them at all this half. So, really, for ArtsyCat, who cares? You know, it just, the Oceanside minds their own business. They're off catching fish, and they'll eat well and everything, right? Because they probably have lots of fish to eat and everything. So, but they haven't been keeping up with trade all these years, which is strange also because you think they would, but they haven't. So it is what it is. We'll see if maybe they'll get involved here with the Whisper War in some way. Maybe they won't. If Maggie returns, maybe she could go to them and ask them for a favor back because she kind of did them a favor before. Cindy sort of owes her one, and she never said anything. She never did anything about it. So maybe she could use that as leverage to negotiate and get them to follow her into battle against the Whispers, but only if she's there. If Tara's there, I mean, Cindy does care for Tara too, right? So they have something kind of going there. So maybe Tara could go and try to request their help, but that is if she survives till season 10. So we'll see. We'll probably see them come back in season 10 with the Oceanside, but to be honest, I'm not holding my breath to see them come back. I really don't care that much. They didn't have many characters anyway that were really like standouts from the Oceanside, so whatever. So I guess they could, but do we really care that much? Ash Williams says, Angela Kang said the introduction of the Highwaymen will be the result for the action in episode 15. So my best guess is that in order for the Whisperers to arrive at the fair, they'll have to fight the Highwaymen and probably kill them all. And that's true, man. I guess Carol's offer for the movie for the Highwaymen and a job was a good call because that's true. If they are going to stay to their job, they will have to... the Whispers will have to get through them to get to the fair. So if they're there, the Whispers may wipe out the Highwaymen, which actually I would kind of like because I feel like the Highwaymen are sort of this group that's kind of been added in that doesn't really fit. So if Alpha puts all their heads on pikes, then maybe that fits better with The Walking Dead, right? like you get this kind of group that comes in, they're kind of happy, everyone's talking about watching movies and peace and love and getting along together and everything. They got like muskets and stuff like this. And then Alpha comes in and chops all their heads off, right? That sounds about right. So I like that prediction. I haven't heard that yet, but for Ash, also, points for his name being Ash Williams. I kind of like that. So very cool. I think that's a good prediction. I like that a lot. I haven't thought of that one myself. MrNoluv says, but Trev, what if Whiskey Cavalier is actually good? So Whiskey Cavalier show that we've been talking about recently, Maggie's new show, basically Lauren Cohen's new show. I'm not against it or anything like that. It's just not my genre. It's just not what I'm into personally. So if it is good, I'm happy for her and everything, and I'm happy for Everybody Hates Chris. I'm happy for Noah, or so if they can continue in that, of course, obviously The Walking Dead's not going to last forever. So if they can do well for their careers with that, of course, great, happy for them. There's nothing wrong with that. But is it something that I would tune in every week to watch? No. Tainted Meat, for example, here said, I tried to watch Whiskey last week and just could not get interested. I think the ratings are good because it's a new show, and they're only good for now. And it did go down, I think, a couple million to around 3 something for the third episode. So it did decline a bit after the second one, which, it's what it is, whatever. I was just surprised that it beat The Walking Dead at all. I could never imagine last year or imagine a world where I would say that her new series that she goes off to do is going to have more viewers than The Walking Dead. Like, what? No way. I never thought that would ever happen. So that's why I was so surprised in that video. And I was also saying, okay, she's probably not coming back if her new show is going to do good. And, we'll see. I could be wrong in that. But, maybe if it gets to season 2, the best case scenario, we see 1 or 2 episodes with Maggie of season 10, and that's it. Worst case scenario, we don't see her at all. And if the series keeps going, then we continue to not see her at all. So, but you almost tend to think that eventually she'll probably come back sometime. Maybe it's not season 10. Maybe it'll be season 11 or 12 or something. But if The Walking Dead keeps going, you almost think that eventually she'll return at some point. Whether that series ends at some point or she does a part-time thing and she just comes back for a bit, special episode or something. You tend to think she'll come back for something eventually. So I don't mean to make it sound like, oh, she'll never come back, whatever. But if the series is long running, maybe not very much, if at all. Nickolas Miles says, what are your thoughts on AMC's Badlands? So wants to know about what I think about Into the Badlands. Well, I like Into the Badlands. I think it's cool. If I had more time, I'd probably watch it week to week. I watched a couple episodes from the first season. I reviewed the premiere. The review's in the channel if you guys want to hear my thoughts on it. I think it's cool. I think it's a really cool show and everything. And I love the action sequences are sweet. The slow-mo that they do and the way they film it and everything, kind of like a old school 80s. A lot of that type of kung fu type of ninja type stuff was popular during the 80s. So Badlands is awesome for that. I mean, if you want to see some really cool stuff like that, some awesome special effects like that, you can see that. My all-time dream would be to see a Ninja Turtles series done by the team that does Into the Badlands. That would be sweet. Ideas, AMC. See? Ideas. All you got to just call me. I'll give you all these great ideas, right? Just get the license for Turtles, do an on-running adult Turtles where they actually kill people and stuff. Oh, man. Yeah, it would work. Just get that team. Just forget it. Just cancel Into the Badlands. Get them on Turtles and do an adult Turtles. That would just be killer, man. You could beat... There you go. You want to beat Walking Dead ratings? There you go. You got it right there. There's an idea. So, Sam Oz says, I don't give a damn about Maggie. The show is doing just fine without her. Keep Daryl and Carol to the end of the show, and the show can survive. So not everybody cares if they bring her back or not. JJ says, if the show keeps doing better, then Maggie will want more money for season 10. Yes, that's true, right? That's true. So, maybe they can't even pay her enough to get her to come back at this point. Not compared to, especially, because when you're going to star in your own show, if it continues, she's going to be in every episode. Whereas with The Walking Dead, she's probably not going to be in every episode. So it's pretty tricky, man. It's certainly a conflict. We'll see what they do about it and how it all turns out. But right now, it's not looking good. RP says, face it, Trev, The Walking Dead is complete trash now. So a little bit of trolling here, but, I'm pretty much saying, it's still my favorite series on TV. Everything else is ending. All these other shows I've been watching for years are ending. The Walking Dead's still going strong. So, personally, I love the Daryl versus Beta fight. I love some of the episodes in Season 9. All the stuff with Rick was very memorable for me. I can go back and watch this stuff in 20 years. And I'm going to think oh, man, I remember when I watched that episode when Herschel came back and when Rick, oh, my God, and they had Shane come back and stuff. Oh, that was awesome. So, it's cool, man. Of course, you have your opinion. If you don't like it, that's fine, no problem. But personally, I'm loving it. I'm loving to see the Whispers, and I'm still enjoying it just as much as ever. And I don't view The Walking Dead Season 9 as a bad season of a show. I think it's actually one of the better seasons they've done. I think it's amazing if you look at it. It's almost like a couple seasons put into one. They really just went through stuff and, went through the Rick stuff and all the stuff prior with Saviors, and then boom, they put in the Whispers and introduced them in a huge way, bring in the Daryl versus Beta fight and all the cool stuff that's going on around that. Oh, man, I've been enjoying it. So, but your opinion is your opinion, no problem. PK DJK says, Fear the Walking Dead is doomed. So we'll wrap it up with that one. I think that's good for today. Fear the Walking Dead. Okay, so Fear the Walking Dead probably is doomed. Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, with the demand for The Walking Dead declining quite a bit, Fear the Walking Dead might have a couple more years left. And I would not be surprised if Season 6 or Season 7 was the last year for Fear. And I could be wrong. Maybe they can do more years than that. Maybe they can get more seasons out of it than that. But I would tend to think that's probably what we're looking at for Fear. And you guys can leave a comment below. Probably a couple more years for Fear. That's my prediction. I could be totally wrong. It could get to Season 10 too. I don't know. But I'm thinking a couple more years for Fear. And then they're probably going to roll it into the original series. That's just where I'm at. I just feel like that makes the most sense for everything. You don't have to kill off everybody. You could bring Alicia into the main show, and that would help them out too, because then they get some more characters that are really, really well developed and really good characters. And the Walking Dead original series doesn't have a whole lot of those right now. So let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments below. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, thumb it up below. Share, favorite it. Send me some questions. So leave a comment below. Do you have a question for tomorrow? Do you guys want to do one tomorrow? If you do, you vote by leaving a question. If I get enough good questions, at least probably 10 or 15, then we can do another video tomorrow before episode 14 airs with a flashback episode. Getting to see Michonne Prego with RJ, who people still want to argue every day whether or not RJ is real. That's it for this one, guys. We'll see you again tomorrow night or tomorrow for the review or another Q&A if we have it. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. See you guys soon.